Welcome to problem 31 from chapter number 9. This problem is on page 293 of your book, and it uses the furniture data set. So in this particular case, when we look at our spreadsheet, again, we have to determine which hypothesis we're going to do. We're going to have to determine if it's Z-test, a t-test. If it's a t-test, is it left tail, right tail, or two tail? So in this particular case, we have to do some reading before we start punching numbers in. And you can see in this case that we have a situation in part A. The supervisor claims that the mean number of days between the receipt of the complaint and the resolution of the complaint is 20 days. Now, in that particular case, they're wanting to determine whether this is true or not at a 5% level of significance. And so that, is it 20 days or is it not 20 days? So the null hypothesis would be 20 days. The mean is equal to 20 days. The alternate hypothesis would be the mean is not equal to 20 days. So in this particular case, we have a two-tail test in problem number 31, at least part A, and we have a sample, in this case, of 50 complaints. We have the data for the 50 complaints, and I'm sure that from previous chapters you can find out what the mean and the standard deviation are. So in this case, we have a two-tailed hypothesis mean. So the null hypothesis is the complaints are dealt with in 20 days. Level of significance, 5% level of error or level of significance. And the sample standard deviation is 41.92605,736. You can copy and paste from your data analysis. The sample size is 50, and the sample mean turns out to be 43.04. Now, before I put this result in, you can see that it right away, just even without ever taking statistics, if I claim that something takes 20 days and the average is 43 days, you're probably thinking that is probably not a correct statement. So in this particular case, we find the p-value, which is 0.0003, which is definitely less than 0.05. And you can see that we will reject the null hypothesis. So I can statistically state, not just feel, that the mean is not 20. And you can see we did not test to see whether it was higher. That would be a right tail test. We simply tested, and so the installation supervisor is incorrect. And so we have assumed in part B that the population is normally distributed, which we can with a sample size of 50. And we could also, and I'm not going to show you how to do this, but because we did it earlier, we could also use a box plot. And you could also compare mean, mode, and median like you are used to. So I'll refer you to the Word example for that. So it is not a true statement. I'm 95% sure that the mean is not 20. Now again, that does not prove that it's higher, although you can see the sample mean is significantly higher than what was stated in the null hypothesis, that I would have to do a right tail test on this.